Kia ora koutou, ko Madeleine Armstrong Wilcox toku ingoa. I'm the head of programs here at the Neurodiversity in Education project. Thank you so much for spending a wee bit of time with me talking about what it is we do at MindPlus and why we do it, and welcoming you to our MindPlus community. Karakia as we begin. Tu taua mai I runga, tu taua mai I raro, tu taua mai I roto, tu taua mai I waho. Kia tau ai, te mauri tu, te mauri ora, ki te katoa humie huie tai kie, inviting us from all of the different places to be strong and well together. So let me tell you a little bit about who we are at MindPlus and in the bigger picture at the Neurodiversity in Education project. So that's our umbrella organisation. MindPlus is the name of the student-facing program that your students are in. So our role at the project is a really simple one. We support students, we support teachers and schools, and we also support that bigger picture through advocacy with the goal of building a more neuro-inclusive education system. A neuro-inclusive education system is our big picture goal, our dream, and that means that it's a system in which all brains are understood, all brains are supported, and all brains are celebrated. It's at a systems level, not just at an individual teacher level or an individual classroom or a school, but what we are trying to work towards is that systems level change where that the essence of neurodiversity, that all of our brains are different, and that's fantastic that that is actually built in and celebrated. So very specifically, we have student-facing programs, MindPlus, and other programs as well. We have teacher-facing programs where we upskill and support teachers in free, fun, and practical ways because, oh my goodness, we know that teachers are busy people, and we work with other organisations and the Ministry of Education to really push those system-wide changes. Okay, let's dig into what MindPlus is all about. MindPlus is our first and foremost student-facing program that offers specialist support for gifted and neurodivergent learners. It operates from a half day a week, which is for MindPlus Online and MindPlus Your School, to a full day a week, and that's in our specialist classes, MindPlus Our School classes. MindPlus programs can be accessed in different ways, either in our in-person classes in Auckland or Christchurch, online, or through our partner schools. Now, in our partner schools, we work together with a teacher or group of teachers in the school to train them to provide the MindPlus program to their students. It's a really exciting development for us. Okay. MindPlus as a program is aimed at our gifted learners, those who have differently wired brains, and that different wiring allows, enables, promotes a high level of intellectual ability and a particular set of personal qualities that we see fairly routinely in many of our gifted kids. By intellectual abilities, what we're talking about is those underlying abilities that make other things possible: creativity, logic, imagination, memory, an eye for detail, a sense of the big picture, not specifically high academically achieving kids. We know that our gifted kids are capable of high academic achievement when they are taught really well, but that's not their number one standout feature. We're looking for those intellectual abilities, and that's what our program targets and builds and supports, as well as the social and emotional side. Interesting thing about gifted kids is historically, teachers and probably families as well have thought, well, they're actually doing fine, they'll be fine. Nothing additional or different needed. We know that our gifted kids, in order to meet their potential, in order to thrive, they need some additional support, and that's why we exist. All right, this term coming up at MindPlus, it's term 1 of every year, is always really exciting. We're doing a lot of new things with our students. So let me tell you a little bit about what is going on this term. So one part of our program is called conceptual development. That's all about thinking and learning through ideas, not through subjects. So approaching the world with a subject lens, we break it up into English and maths and science and all of those things. But our gifted learners really enjoy looking at the world through the lens of ideas. So we tap into that through this part of our program called conceptual development by doing exactly that, looking at the world through ideas. Our idea that we're using for the whole year this year is change. We rotate those ideas. We have a set of ideas that we go through. This year it's change, and this term, this first term, is introducing change. What do we mean by change? Interestingly, for many of our kids, when we introduce a new concept, they're like, well, we know what change is. Move on already. Come on, hurry up, get to the good stuff. But actually, if you dig into it, what does change mean? Many kids will say, oh, it means changing things. The understandings are kind of buried and implicit. So we're drawing all of those up to the surface. We're really clarifying what we are talking about and what we are not talking about. We're looking at examples. We're categorizing examples. We are looking at big ideas about change. So for instance, one of the ideas that I saw a class talking about this week was the idea that the paradoxical idea, change is permanent. Is it? That's an idea we're going to dig into, look at, think about, find evidence from different perspectives all about. So this term is very exploratory around that idea. Next term and the rest of the year, we're going to dig into quite specific context. So it might be change in design, it might be change in a historical sense, it might be change in a scientific sense. We'll dig into that later in the year. Another part of what we do in MindPlus is called personal development, and it's really that social and emotional awareness, understandings, and acting on those understandings. In this term, we're digging into, well, what's your brain actually like? We all in our MindPlus classes have some pretty interesting brains. So what are those brains like? And we're building off a resource that we use called Welcome to My Brain, which we have in all of our classrooms. We have online as well, and you can buy your own set for your family, which really supports kids talking about what's going on in their brains and how their brains operate, how they feel, what helps them operate really well, what does not help them operate well, unpacking some of the ideas that we might come with or misunderstandings we might have about what giftedness is, about what that umbrella term neurodivergence means. Just so you're in the know, neurodivergence literally just means brains that are different, and gifted brains are brains that are different, and that is okay. So that's what this term is all about, looking at those interesting brains and how, as a group of learners together, because whether you're in a class or online, you are a group of learners working together, how we can appreciate each other's brains and work with them, not against them, but also inside ourselves, how we can work with our own brain, not against our own brain, and how we understand how it works. Another part of what we do at MindPlus is called talent development, and that's our all of our program is absolutely unashamedly strengths-based. We focus on strengths, we develop strengths, we build strengths, but talent development is really the pointy end of that, where we specifically work with kids to go, well, what are you actually good at? What are your strengths? How do we develop those further? We do that in all sorts of different ways. This term, we're focusing on passions. And that's a great way to kick off the year, because when we focus on passions, what you love doing or learning about, what lights you up, we're building that real excitement around learning those things. So passion projects are all about doing more of what you love. They don't have to have an outcome. They don't have to have a guiding question. They don't have to have a formal structure, but they do have to be feasible within the bounds of MindPlus. For instance, I'm quite passionate about coffee. Quite passionate indeed. But I can't just sit around and drink coffee all day at MindPlus. Wouldn't work out very well. But maybe what I could do is think about why I'm passionate about coffee. Is it the taste? Is it the flavor? Is it the impact? Is it that I get coffee with friends and that it's kind of my social time with other people? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I could find out why coffee has an impact on human bodies, dig into it a little bit more. So passion projects are about digging into something you're really passionate about within the boundaries of the MindPlus context. Can't do swimming, for instance, because we don't have a swimming pool. With no expected outcome. It's one of those things where it goes where it goes. It lasts as long as it lasts, and we will move on to something different next term. All of our students will also be introduced to clubs, which are our online platforms for connecting with other passionate learners. So for instance, another example from me, I'm quite passionate about Tudor history at the moment. That's a real interest area of mine. To connect with other people that might be passionate about that area, I could use clubs and connect with other people who are historically minded. So we'll introduce our kids to clubs across this term and get them started in there. From a parent perspective, we need to know about the realities of a MindPlus day. So it is a big day. It's not like a school day in that there are not, for instance, kind of quieter times and busier times, times when kids can kind of switch off and tune out. We don't have assemblies. We don't have singing, syndicate singing. We don't have library time, etc. It's all activities. They are working all day, obviously breaks and brain breaks and things like that, but it's a packed full day. It is big. We will send them home tired because they will have been working hard all day. Apologies, but also not really apologies. We want them to work hard all day. We want those brains really challenged. There's a lot of variety, a lot of different things going on, and quite a lot of flexibility. So if, for instance, we're doing an activity that involves writing and someone says, no, can I make a cartoon instead? I'm not really up for writing today. Great. If that fits with what we're doing, there is always that flexibility, but it's not a free for all, and it's not a play-based day. It is more akin to a regular school day than a play-based day. There are clear routines and clear expectations and clear structures around what students are doing, when, why, and how. There's no free for all, but there is high variety and high flexibility. As I said before, it's a strengths-focused program. We will absolutely, and 100% of the time, focus on kids' strengths. That doesn't mean we ignore issues or barriers or struggles they are having, but we really work with, or what are you good at? Where are your strengths, and how can you apply those strengths to work around those barriers or to work through any difficulties you're having? Very, very much strengths focused. It's a day that we aim to be challenging and supportive in equal parts. So we expect the work that kids do to stretch them out intellectually, to make those brains work hard. But we know that for those brains to work hard, they need support to do that. They need the right tools, they need the right thinking, they need the right environment. So we're hoping hand in hand, challenge and support go together. It's also a day where we have kids together, whether it's online or in person, that togetherness matters. Now, for some of our kids starting at MindPlus, being in a class of basically like minds, so they might not find their forever best friend, but they are in a group that is more likely to be more similar to them than different from them. For some of our kids coming to MindPlus, it's the first time they've had that experience, and it can be weird and wonderful and kind of like, oh my goodness, they're a bit like I am. It can take time to settle in with that idea that you're in a like-minded and safe community, and that's okay. We'll let them settle in their own time, in their own way. But that togetherness is something that's really important. That like-minded environment makes a huge difference for kids. We know that from our years of experience and from directly asking kids, what is it about MindPlus that you like? They'll often say the sense of community, the belonging I feel, the like minds. It's an important feature of our day. Interestingly, we know that doing lots of hard intellectual activity and lots of interacting with like minds is actually depleting your body and your brain's fuel. We have found that kids eat a lot on their MindPlus days. So please make sure you pack them lots of snacks and a big lunch. We don't engage with the school lunches program because we are not actually part of any school. We are independent. So you do need to pack them a lunch, plenty of it. Most of our classrooms, if you're coming onto one of our sites, have a very rudimentary kitchen set up so they can heat up food, etc., which is fantastic. But do pack them lots of food, and please no nuts. Our in-person classes are all nut-free. Okay. A little bit about Hero. It's our absolute first port of call for getting in touch with you. You're going to find general kind of MindPlus notices, often they're from me in there, but each week you will also find something from your child's MindPlus teacher. Here's what we did this week. A little bit of an update, a little bit of here's what's going on, here's what's coming up. What we also are looking at, and I'll make sure these are back on Hero very soon for you, is that if you want to connect with other MindPlus parents in your unit, and by unit I also mean online, we have a parent contact list. You need to add your details to that if you want to be part of that list. We're not just broadcasting everyone's details because that's not fair, but if you want to be part of a connected parent group of MindPlus parents, add your names to that list. A very important part of that is that we'd really love to have one or maybe two or more, if possible, parents in each class who are the class convener, for lack of a better word, that one parent who organises a coffee catch-up or organises an after-school meet-up at a local park or an online meeting if you're online. That one person who does the organising and the rallying, we'd love to have one of those in each of our classes. If that's you, make sure you pop your name on that list and colour it in, highlight it so we know that's you. And we'll be in touch soon to gather all the class conveners from all the MindPlus classes together to chat about different ways that you could bring people together. Once a term, slightly less often for MindPlus online because we see less of them, but generally once a term, you'll also get an individual update about your child, and this will focus on their progress and achievement in one part of our MindPlus program. So it'll either be about conceptual development or personal development or talent development once a term. If you want to talk with your MindPlus teacher at any point in time about progress and achievement, just feel free to get in touch with them. Email is probably easiest. It's probably not a pick up or drop off conversation, but it's probably a conversation to have over the phone or by email. In saying that, remember that we can gauge progress and achievement in our program. We can't comment on progress or achievement in your child's regular classroom because we just don't know it. We don't see them in their regular classroom. So our progress and achievement updates are based on our program, and that's all. You'll also find in here your invoice, the all-important money part of it. If you have any questions about your invoice, contact our lovely office team, because our MindPlus teachers don't deal with your invoices. They are fabulously trained specialist teachers. They are not financial controllers, and they have no input into that side of it. So please talk to our office team, anything about that. Attendance is obviously a big hot topic with schools. So a little plea, if your child is going to be away from MindPlus, and we understand life is busy and people get sick, and that's all good, but please let us know in Hero. You click on report an absence and you just follow the instructions. Do it in Hero rather than a text or an email or a phone call. That way it's automatically recorded, and it's the immediate step rather than a step removed if you just call or email your teacher. But at the very same time you do that, please could you let your child's regular school that they're away from MindPlus as well. That is because in your child's regular school, your child gets actually marked present but off-site at a board-approved activity. Right, that is the official Ministry of Education code, is present but off-site. So if they are not actually present but off-site, your child's school needs to know, and you're the best person to tell them that, and use whatever system they use for reporting absences. So just bear that in mind. If your child's going to be away, tell us in Hero. Tell your regular school as well. I know it's a bit of a pain, but it just keeps everyone on the same page with what's going on. Okay, clubs. Like I said, we will introduce all of our MindPlus kids to clubs, but clubs is actually free for any sparky or curious kid to join, which is amazing. It's free because we have Ministry of Education funding. If your child's been with us at MindPlus for a while and has been in clubs for a while, we'd love to hear your feedback about how clubs is going for them, about what they're doing. And we'll be in touch about that. But anyway, all of our MindPlus kids will join a club. They can access their club anytime, anywhere, at school, at home, on the road if they have an internet-capable device. Do some learning together with like minds, connect with people with like minds. Coming up this term, we have our termly activation week, which is where we bring in all sorts of amazing, passionate people to chat with kids online about the amazing things that they are doing. It's coming up at the end of March. It's going to be fantastic. Keep your eye out for it. It'll be on Hero, and kids will be able to see it in their Google Classrooms and in their club's Google Classrooms. Because all MindPlus kids will join a club, or at least one club, as part of their MindPlus. You don't need to sign them up additionally. But maybe for siblings or friends, kids who would like to also join, they completely, absolutely can. It's free and they can sign up on our website. Super easy. For any teachers in the room, or to share with your child's teacher in school, and this has been shared with them already, but just as something you might mention, one of the other things we do as part of the Neurodiversity Education Project is support teachers, because teachers make a huge difference for our kids. So our Building a Neuro-Inclusive School program runs a community of educators who get together online about once a month to talk through, share and connect ideas around that idea of neuro-inclusion. How do we make our classrooms recognise all brains, support all brains and celebrate all brains? We offer resources for teachers and the short courses they can do, and they are all free. Again, we have some Ministry of Education funding for this, which is amazing. And they're fun. It's for busy teachers, by busy teachers. We know what it's like out there being a teacher. It's hard, so we make things fun. We make them practical. If you want to draw your teacher's attention to it, it's all on our website as well, under BNS, Building a Neuro-Inclusive School. So if you have questions, and you are bound to, and that's fantastic, ask away. You can ask a question in here, or you can email me directly if you think it's likely that someone has asked your question before you, and they probably have. Check out our parent guide on our website. It's under MindPlus, and you just click from there. You click on either online or our school, and you look at either the FAQs, the frequently asked questions, or the parent guide. The parent guide has all the detail that you would ever want. The FAQs is a quick run through. So have a look there. If you do have questions that are really not answered there, do feel free to get in touch with me or your child's MindPlus teacher at any point in time. We're here to help. Okay. And a karakia just as we finish up. Kua mutu a mātou mahi mo tēnei wā, manaki tia mai mā katoa o mātou hoa o mātou whānau au ki te aorangi. And that's about our work being done for today. And have a very peaceful rest of your day, evening, whenever you're watching this. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and I hope to chat at some stage soon. Thanks all. Bye-bye.